Alright, so we have, right, kind of going in order. Gyri are the bumps, these little bumps that go up and down. The sulcus would be this groove in here. Okay, those are the grooves. That's the sulcus, singular. Longitudinal cerebral fissure is just where your brains are connected. So if you pull them apart, there's a fissure, a cut. You guys all done with that?
Yeah, well, I was just going to listen to what you said.
Okay. So if you... Okay.
Oh.
Alright, I don't want to pull it apart, but that line right there, that's the longitudinal cerebral fissure. Okay. Cerebral hemisphere just means the left and right cerebral hemisphere. Okay, the left side of the brain controls the right side of the body, the right side of the brain controls the left side. Okay. Olfactory bulb. These are nice because they're still nice and intact. These are the olfactory bulbs. Okay, they have little nerve fibers that go through the olfactory foramina in the skull for smell. Okay, and then you have the optic chiasma. This is nice because it's still very nicely intact. Where it crosses over, that's the optic chiasma. Okay, the optic nerves, well, these are cut pretty short. The optic nerves actually come off the back of the eye. And this one here is the left one, so it goes over here. Right one comes over here, and then they cross over to opposite sides of the brain. Optic tract, it just extends forward. The optic tract is just, in a sense, it's the same name as a nerve, but it's more technical. Just call it optic nerve. All right, cerebellum. Yeah, I know. Poor thing. There's your cerebellum right there. Mammillary body is about right there. Right there. Okay. Midbrain, don't worry about the midbrain here. Pons variola. All right. Remember that when you talk about the spinal, the brainstem, it goes pons, medulla, spinal cord. Pons is right here. There's a pons variola. I just call it the pons. And then you have the medulla oblongata, and the long extension here, that long extension is the spinal cord. Infundibulum and the hypophysis. Hypophysis is another name for the pituitary. They're gone on this particular structure. They should be right here over the mammillary body. It's a little pea-like structure, and it's attached to the brain by way of a stalk or infundibulum. You'd be very lucky to actually see that pituitary gland on the brain. You might see it on the sections. Corpus callosum. Corpus callosum is a band of nerve fibers that connects the left and right cerebral hemisphere. So it's kind of thin there, and not so good in there. That band of fibers right there, that band, that's the corpus callosum. Okay, septum pellucidum is a layer of tissue that actually surrounded this opening here. You'll see this in the brain. It's still in the brain model. It's still intact. Septum pellucidum is just a layer of tissue right in there. Okay, and then the fornix is down below here. Okay, so the fornix is right there. Olfactory bulb or intermediate mass of thalamus. All right, so we'll get to that in a second. Olfactory bulb we went over. Optic chiasma went over. Cerebral peduncle. I'll get to that later. Aqueductus sylvius. Okay, it's about right in here. Aqueductus sylvius. Cerebellum we went over. Cerebellum right there. Mammillary body we went over. It's about right in here, not seen real well on this one as it is for this one. Medulla oblongata, right in here. Spinal cord, of course, right in there. Third ventricle. Third ventricle, that right in here. Fourth ventricle, right in there. Corpora quadrigemina. Be very careful on this one here. So if you pull it, deflect it away. Corpora quadrigemina is this structure here.
Is that like a midbrain?
Big ball-like structure. It is not part of the cerebrum, and it's not part of the cerebellum. This is a corpora quadrigemina. Now, if you go to the next one, pineal gland. Be really careful. This thing will probably pull. Yeah, it's just hanging on by a thread. Look right underneath my thumb. You see that little pea-shaped structure? That's the pineal gland. It's associated with secreting melatonin which is not the same thing as melanin, but melatonin for the sleep-wake cycle. You saw the corpus callosum, saw the lateral ventricles. I think I mentioned that. This is the lateral ventricle here. It's a space. It contains cerebrospinal fluid. It's just a space in there. Okay.
And where's the third ventricle again? The
third
one?
ventricle? Got right in here.
Okay, then this is the fourth one.
Fourth one. All right, saw the fornix earlier. Fornix right down there. Gray matter and white matter. Gray matter to the outside. Okay, it's darker than there's a white matter in there. Thalamus and hypothalamus. Let's see, I think it's this one here. All right, thalamus is right there. You can kind of see it's a big ball-like structure. Okay, and then a hypothalamus is lower. Hypo meaning below, so it's down in here. And it's a four-legged animal, so it's going to be in a little bit different position than it is for the human. Okay.
So is this the pineal?
No, that's actually the corpora quadrigemina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like it's been torn out. It looks like this may in fact be a portion of it. Yeah, that's a little part of it.
Okay.
Very small.
Cerebral?
Yeah, that's what I have to check because I can't remember where that one is.
It shows that it was over here.
Well, you're going to have a mammillary body, so I have to check that one.
Is the intermediate mesothalamus the same with this, or?
No, it's a part of it. It's in here somewhere. That's why I don't even point it out, because I want you to know the thalamus right in here. Don't worry about intermediate mesothalamus. Number 4.
Yeah. Maybe. Thank you.